the Niners drafted Ji'Ayir Brown, traded up for him round 3. It was an aggressive move. It's someone that they clearly like very much. I asked John Lynch after the draft, after round 3, I said, safety to safety, what do you like about Ji'Ayir Brown? And he just, no hesitation. John Lynch, Hall of Fame safety, says, oh, he's a baller. And then goes into all the things he likes about him. You've spent a lot of time studying him. What makes Ji'Ayir Brown a quote-unquote baller?
It's the ball hawking skills. It's the way how fast he plays, right? Everybody gets enamored with 40 speed and they look at that, but then they can't translate that to the field, right? And Brown is somebody who can do it over and over. He's very versatile. He feels like a Jimmy Ward guy, right? Jimmy Ward wasn't the fastest, but he wasn't going to give up anything over the top of his head. He's great in run defense. He can come down the slot and cover. I wouldn't say wide receivers, probably tight ends, or probably bigger wide receivers, slower wide receivers he'd be able to take care of. But what you're looking at right now is Steve Wilkes is going to deploy more of a single high look. How much of that is just going to be Hufanga up by himself or Gibson? You know, Hufanga can roam around, and he's much better when he plays fast. Brown and Hufanga kind of mirror each other in terms of play speed, how they play. They have the same sort of deficiencies, I guess is the best way to put it. At times they play a little too fast, run themselves out of the tackle. Their angles
too instinctual.
Right. So you're playing too fast, right? Like you're right. The idea is to get him in a spot where if you want him to blitz, send him. Don't let him think, go. Like, but if you have to decipher some things, that's where some things will come in. But Steve Wilkes is a secondary guy. This does feel very much like Steve Wilkes and John Lynch got together on this pick. And they said, this is what we're going to need going forward. Sean Gibson's only here for one more
Kyle,
year.
you stay out of the room. We'll get back to you. Me and Steve got this. Sorry.
Yeah,
I can only imagine. Yeah. I can only imagine. We're good.
No, but I love the way that he plays his physical nature. And the other thing that I really like, and this has nothing to do with the evaluation process, is I like when the 49ers identify somebody and they were like, yo, we got to move up and get this guy. And I feel
got to work the board.
Yeah. I
can't let the board work you.
They were convicted. You know, I don't know why John Lynch keeps saying that. You know, they were convicted in pick 99. I don't want to get into that. But moving up to 87 tells me a little bit more than pick 99 in terms of they had to make sure they got their guy. And I really enjoyed that about it. But he does fit. He fits the physicality. He fits exactly what the 49ers want to do in terms of versatility and what Steve Wilkes is going to use him for. I really love this pick, man. This is my favorite pick of the draft.
He's going to be good. He's going to be a baller. And I want to point out that I think a lot of fans know what players do at the combine because it's on TV. But then they have pro days, which aren't televised, but you can get the results on draftscout.com. Yep. And this guy, Ji'Ayir Brown, did a full workout at the combine, then went and did it again at the pro day and improved his 40 time. He went from 4.65 to 4.58. He took his vertical jump from 32 inches to 35. I mean, he's a really good athlete, and he's not as slow as you think. And when I was watching the film of him, what stood out to me is the blitzing. And what was interesting, like last year, D'Amico, I don't really consider D'Amico's pressure packages that sophisticated, but the one he really liked to do was the Talanoa blitz. Mm-hmm. And he would actually get Talanoa unblocked a fair amount. And I've never seen someone miss so many point blank shots as Talanoa. Like, how many times did he have to do dead to rights to the quarterback and just fall off the guy? So he'll figure it out. But now you got a guy in Ji'Ayir Brown who I think is a better blitzer, straight up.
Give me 1 second, because I think you're hearing me through this and not this.
The AirPods? Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm hearing you through the payphone at Santa Rita?
Yeah, pretty much. Hold on, give me 1 second. You can keep going.
Will you accept these charges? No.
Yeah.
See you in 3 years, buddy.
All right. I got it. This is bad TV right now. I'm terrible.
No, it's all right.
All right.
Better? I was going on about how good of a blitzer Ji'Ayir Brown is, and it looks to me, not to put down Talanoa, it looks like Ji'Ayir Brown is more advanced in this area.
And that's the thing is, again, they're mirror images, ball hawks, right? You have the production with interceptions and everything as well, too. All of that stuff can be curved. And it's the same thing kind of with the Dre Greenlaw and D. Winters comp. You know, it's guys who are fast. Sometimes they need to slow it down. That's it. You can teach that, though. You got to control that aggression, and you got to be able to play within yourself. But you don't want to.
But how many guys can make plays on the back end and behind the line of scrimmage? Like, not that many safeties can do all of that. Plays.
No.
Big plays.
No, that's the thing. That's the thing is everybody's going to have deficiencies, but again, it's up to them to put him in a spot to win. But again, like playing with controlled aggression, making sure that you're playing within yourself while finding a way to tap into what makes them special by playing so hard. That's the coaching part, right? Like that's the part of you don't want to take away what makes the guy special, like Kufanga, right? You don't want to take away what makes Brown very good. You just want to control it and put him in a spot where he can use that at the right time.
And what will be interesting is, Tashawn Gibson is a really good player. And I think a lot of people are being like, well, Ji'Ayir Brown is going to start over Gibson. Like, well, hold on. Like that's, he's a really good player. He should be used this year. But I think they mentioned there's 3 safety packages they can use. And with Brown, I think it'd be interesting on third down. Instead of using nickel, you could use dime. And you could take Dre Greenlaw off the field and bring Brown on. And I think he would give you everything Greenlaw gives in coverage. We'd also give you a little bit more in blitzing. I mean, there are things they could do with Brown in his rookie year before he usurps Tashawn Gibson.
I wouldn't be shocked if they're going to run a little bit more 3 safety. They will put him down in the slot in certain places. Maybe use him as an extra linebacker cover guy. Exactly. So there's a way to get him on the field. Because they don't have any
like serious nickel they're invested in. Jimmy Ward's gone. Isaiah Oliver's good.
Isaiah Oliver's good. Samuel Womack, they should give him another shot. I really liked what I saw in a little bit that he was there. But look, I did. But it's clear.
I'm just saying, like, new coordinator comes in, brings in like 8 new DBs. Like the writing's on the wall for him and Ambry. They better step up.
Oh, Ambry's done.
I
mean, they drafted another corner. And even last year, when guys got injured, like in that Atlanta game, right? I think it was Mooney Ward left that game. They're literally turning to every corner but Ambry. They put Womack outside, and he gave up the touchdown to Pitts. Like, they are literally going to every single corner except him. He's done. That's another great third-round pick by the 49ers.
Ji'Ayir Brown, I really like the Niners' defensive picks in this draft. From him to Luter Jr. to D Winters. Like, D Winters and Ji'Ayir Brown, I almost have like no question that they're going to be really good starters. I think corner's tough, but I think he could be too. My question is Beal. I mean, I think it's the right kind of risk to take at the end of round 5, but I try to look up his highlights and there's nothing. It's like a minute and it's like him making a couple tackles against a run. And I understand they use him wrong and stuff, but like, is the upside there like rotation? Is he like Jordan Willis kind of project-ish?
Well, the thing is again, like you said, I don't know if they misused him, but they used him in a rotation, right? And he didn't play every single down. Like, he's not a guy that was on every down. I think what you're looking at when you look at Beal is you're looking at get off speed and how fast he is. He's that speed rusher. I don't know if he's Jordan Willis. I think they're trying to find a cheaper version of D4 that they've been trying to replicate since 2019. And I think that if they can take a shot on a guy like that who has a great first step like he does, who has get off, who can get to the quarterback, and they use him sparingly, right? He doesn't have a lot of tread on the tires, right, as a kid.
Right.
I think they are trying to replicate that, and I think that's what more Beal is than anything to them. And, that's a Chris Kosuric pick. That's Chris Kosuric looking around and just saying, this is the guy that I want. Let me get my hands on him. Let's fix him. Or let's coach him up. So the GTFO rating, right? That's what they were saying. They were calling it. Yeah. So that's a Kosuric pick.
I think it's a good pick, and I think he's a good coach. I just think it might be a little unrealistic to expect a guy who wasn't a starter at Georgia for Chris Kosuric to be able to take that guy and make him the 3-down D end. I still feel like his future is as a rotational rusher, which is, those are important. Those are really important.
He could be a obvious passing down guy, and if Drake Jackson can turn into a 3-down guy, that's great. Like, again, you're in that part of the draft, you're taking bets on traits and athleticism. And I feel like Luter, Beal, and Winters, and Jalen Graham, by the way, all those guys, they feel like they have the traits that the 49ers have been looking for in every single one of those positions. Like with Luter, he's long, he has athleticism. Beal's fast, the same thing with Winters, and the same thing with Graham. So it's so strange. As much as I dislike the last 2 picks of their first of the third round, everything else really felt very 49er-ish, and it felt like it made the draft much better for me after pick 99 and 101.
I feel like the Niners are so good at drafting defense. Like, they've had the same scouts for a long time. The coaches, I mean, they really know what they want at every single position, and they've gotten it wrong at enough of them to really like refine their search. On offense, it still kind of feels like Kyle and his dad flying by the seat of their pants sometimes with who they need or who they want. But their defense, I mean, they're very disciplined in what they get.